Today we'll be discussing about a little confidential subject matter, a little indirect understanding of certain concepts of life. So the verse in question is from the chapter of Srimad Bhagvatam. Krishna enters Dwarka, that is 1.11.39, the last verse of that chapter. So the verse goes like this: Tam me nire balamudha strainam chanu vratam rahaha apramana vidho bhartur Ishvaram yat matayo yata. So in this verse it talks about the queens of Lord Krishna. Okay, so they say that the queens are referred by this verse. The queens thought Lord Krishna to be their husband, their pet husband, a hen-pecked husband. So they didn't have understanding of the Supreme Lord as a supreme personality of Godhead, things like that. So this verse actually kind of describes those queens. So it tells us that tam menire means they took it for granted. Abala, because they were abala, they were like immature children. Abala mudhaha, like they were delicate, they were like simply quite innocent. Mudhaha kim tam menire abala mudha, because of being abala and mudha. Strainam cha anuvrata strainam cha anuvratam raha. They thought their husband is strainam or hen-pecked, Lord Krishna to be a hen-pecked husband. And cha anuvratam means he used to follow them. Rahaha, in solitary places. Apramana vidho bhartur, they had no pramana or they had no understanding or real understanding or revelation. Pratyaksha pramana, like pramana. Apramana vidho bhartur, they didn't know this vidho about their husband Bhartur. Ishvaram matayot, who is Ishvaram actually, who is the Supreme Lord? They didn't have this pramana about him. And Ishvaram matayo yatha, matayo is an atheist, philosopher or a person who is a mental speculator. Matayo yatha, just like an atheist. So the most conflicting or the most confounding part of this verse is, how are the queens of Lord Krishna, who are undeniably in Yog Maya, everybody knows that they are like absolutely perfect devotees, perfected souls in Yog Maya, how can they be compared to an atheist who is in Mahamaya? Exactly like an atheist, just like an atheist. So what is the secret in here? Prabhupada in the purport also explains that they were like, in Yoga Maya, they had the effect of Yoga Maya because they were considering Krishna to be their husband. So the rasa is there. So now we would like to understand what is the secret message of this verse and how does it change the worldview. Now our understanding of certain worldview concepts will be challenged by this verse actually, because our understanding is that now for a Madhyamadikari the understanding has to be slightly different, because the problem is if we start giving examples from the Uttamadikari platform from the scriptures, then there is a chance that a Madhyamadikari or a Kanishtadikari will mistake. Most of us are in fact Kanishtadikaris. So we will mistake ourselves to be Uttamadikaris and start to imitate those Uttamadikaris. So that's why many times when the great souls are explaining certain concepts, they explain it in a different way. So the problem here is that this verse is saying that just like an atheist, that means the effects of Yoga Maya and the effects of Maha Maya are indiscernible, indistinguishable from each other. They are perfectly exactly the same. Whether you are an atheist or whether you are a pure devotee, nobody can make out from the actions alone. From your actions or from anything, from your consciousness, you cannot make out whether you are in Yogamaya or Mahamaya. But then that will conflict our worldview. We know that a pure devotee is undisturbed in circumstances. In fact, we say that the ability of a person to tolerate provoking situations is the greatness of a person. That is the to the extent he's able to, the greatness of a person can be estimated by his ability to tolerate provoking situations. And if you are saying a person inside Yogamaya is behaving exactly like a person who is an atheist or inside a Mahamaya, then this very fundamental thing will be challenged. In fact, when Krishna says, when Arjuna asks, Kim, what is the quality of a Sita Pragya? Then Krishna immediately says, he is completely undisturbed in happiness and distress and this and that. And Krishna keeps on telling this in Mahabharata, in Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga chapters, at basic levels. So he keeps on telling that he is undisturbed. He considers everything to be equal. He has no this thing. He has no that thing. So the primary thing that Krishna says is that person has to be undisturbed. And that's how in India also we understand saints like Vivekananda and so many different saints. Most of the saints, they behave in such a way that we are completely undisturbed. And that's how the examples are given to general public also. The greatness of a saint is that he is undisturbed. He is not being affected by any of the negatives of this world or positives of this world. But the reality is completely different actually. As we know, we have also explained in the previous videos that once a person enters Yogamaya, then all his emotions, all his experiences are spiritual in nature. And spiritual experiences, spiritual world also has rasas. The rasa of anger is there. There is the rasa of bewilderment. There is the rasa of ghastliness. When Yashoda sees Krishna is being caught by Kaliya, she's completely she completely gets disturbed. So disturbance is a very, very common factor in the spiritual realm. You may say, oh, that is in relation to Krishna. No, but the verses and the examples that are given, they say that you have to understand that the Supreme Personality is Krishna and he is God and nothing is going to happen to him. So everything is ordained by the Lord. So you should be undisturbed even in relation to Krishna. Because Krishna never says in relation to me you can get disturbed. His very idea when he is speaking about Sthita Pragya is no matter what happens, you have to be undisturbed. So who is he referring to? Basically whom Krishna is referring to is an impersonalist, because he is actually talking about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. And Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga is mostly about impersonalist. So when a person goes or graduates from a level of a materialistic person to an impersonalist or a transcendentalist, then in an impersonal state of existence, you are actually completely unaffected by happiness and distress of this world. And in relation to Krishna also, because they have no rasas with Krishna also. And they know that Krishna is God, or they can understand Brahman, at least at that level. So everything is Brahman, so they don't get just. If you see Ramachandra Puri, when Ishwar Puri was getting disturbed, Ramachandra Puri couldn't understand why he was getting disturbed. What was the reason for getting disturbed? Why are you getting disturbed? Krishna is everywhere. Why are you getting disturbed in relation with Krishna? He is Brahman. He is the Supreme Lord present in everybody's heart, says Paramatma. He is the Brahman. He is the source of everything. He is there everywhere. So what the hell are you getting disturbed? Don't get disturbed, my Lord. Just meditate on Brahman. Then you'll understand that you are with Krishna. You are not separated from Krishna. Then why are you crying? Oh Krishna, where are you? Where are you? Why are you crying like that? Just meditate on Brahman and Krishna will be there. So impersonalist is undisturbed. He wants to be undisturbed all the time. And he cannot understand the mood and the spiritual emotions and spiritual disturbances of a pure devotee. Okay, we will take more further examples also, where the examples will turn gross also. Then you understand that better. Now you may argue with me that okay, all the pure devotees we can easily make out who is an atheist and who is a pure devotee, because an atheist will always be disturbed with relation to material things, and a devotee will get disturbed in relation to spiritual things. No, that is not the case, unfortunately. A spiritualist or a pure devotee who is in Yogamaya will get disturbed whenever Krishna wants him to be disturbed. That may be in relation to Krishna, or that may not be in relation to Krishna, or that may be opposite to Krishna. It simply depends upon what is Krishna's desire at that point and what is his service for Krishna at that point. We'll take several examples. Okay, let me just take the 4 regulative principles, right? Anybody who breaks or gets disturbed by these regulative principles or by the urges of the various urges of the body, then he will break the regulative principles. So the 4 regulative principles are no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. Now if I tell you there is a devotee who sleeps 12 hours a day, in the mode of ignorance almost, you can say it's a mode of ignorance, isn't it? 12 hours a day. If I tell you there is a Mahabhagavat who has illicit sex at some point of time, if I tell you there is a Mahabhagavat who gambles, if I tell you there is a Mahabhagavat who eats non-veg, and I tell you there is a Mahabhagavat who has intoxication. So, will you say, oh, this is okay? Or will you say that this kind of disturbance is okay? No, because you for a neophyte or for a new person, it will be like problematic situation. How can he break all these principles when he's a Mahabhagavat? But a Mahabhagavat or pure devotee only depends on Krishna's instructions from within. And that instructions also comes through Yogamaya, through an illusionary layer, because Yogamaya is illusion. And that illusion is such that the Mahabhagavat also doesn't know whether, he's doing it knowingly. Unknowingly he does it, but he does every single activity as per Krishna's desire. So let's take the example. Who is the person who sleeps 12 hours a day? It's Lord Brahma. He sleeps 12 hours a day. Who is the person who eats non-veg? He's Garuda. He eats non-veg. Who is the person who is gambling? He's Yudhishthira Maharaj. He's gambled. Who is the person who has illicit sex? It's Parasara Muni. With Satyavati. As per Krishna's desire. Who is the person who has intoxication? Lord Shiva, he drank poison. The highest form of intoxication. And his followers drink hashish and ganja thinking that, oh, Lord Shiva has done that, we can also do it. Some Babajis. But then Prabhupada says, Shiva could drink poison. Can you also do that? Can you do that? Then you can imitate other activities of Lord Shiva. So the point again here is that every single regulative principle can be broken by a pure Uttamadhikari devotee. Now getting disturbed. Arjuna got disturbed because his son got killed. He got completely disturbed. And he took a vow that I'll kill Jayadratha. My son got killed. My son. He got killed. It was not about Krishna. It was my son getting killed. So what was his disturbance? Why was he not Sthita Pragya at that point of time? Because Krishna told Yogamaya that Arjuna, I want Arjuna to get angry when his son gets killed. So make him angry. And because Arjuna was surrendered, Sarva Dharman, he completely surrendered to Yogamaya. So whatever Yogamaya prompted him, he acted that according to Yogamaya. Because whatever thought comes in Arjuna's head, that has to come from Lord Krishna, because he has no other thoughts. So if anger is coming in Arjuna's head, in his mind, that means Krishna wants Arjuna to be angry. This is the reverse logic. We call it reverse engineering. When Yudhishthira Maharaj, when Kunti said, divide, whatever you brought, divide equally among yourselves. Yudhishthira said, okay, let us divide Draupadi equally among ourselves. Then he said, what am I saying? It's against the rules of morality. It's completely, breaking the regulative principles of the Vedas. Then he says, no, wait a minute. If the thought has come to he should use reverse logic, reverse repo, reverse engineering. He said, if such a thought has come in my mind, that means Krishna wants this thing to happen. Because no thought ever comes in my mind which is not approved by Lord Krishna. That is Yogamaya. This is the definition of Yogamaya. It may be a good thought, bad thought, anything. But a pure devotee who is inside Yogamaya, he will have only those thoughts which are Krishna's desires directly, because there is a direct connection between Krishna's direct desires. Yogamaya will decide which desires directly and indirectly are going to give pleasure to Krishna, and the devotees will act in certain ways. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he gambled, yes, but it was Krishna's desire. Parikshit Maharaj, yes, he got disturbed, he got very thirsty, he got disturbed, and he is a Mahabhagavat, he was a absolutely Uttamadhikari, Nitya Siddha Mahabhagavat. He got disturbed, he put a snake around Saunaka Rishi's head, but around his neck, but that was as per Krishna's desire. Otherwise, Bhagvatam cannot be spoken. So, this was completely arranged by Lord Krishna from within his heart. And they are completely surrendered. They will do anything for Krishna. The gopis left everything and they ran away. All morality, everything, all rules of morality were broken. They were completely disturbed when they are not able to see Krishna. You may say a pure devotee should not be disturbed with anything. Because Krishna says, Sthita Pragya means not disturbed. Even in relation with Krishna, one should not be disturbed. Everything you should know that Krishna is Supreme Lord. Everything is happening as per his desire. He is the Supreme Brahman. He is Supreme this, he is Supreme that. So, everything is happening as per. What is the need for getting disturbed? Are you the doers? Are you the people who are doing everything? No, Krishna is plan. Everything in the world is working as per Krishna's plan. So, why are you getting disturbed? Uddhava was sent to the gopis. Krishna is there in everybody's heart. The message that was sent to the gopis via Uddhava by Krishna was that I am there in everybody's heart. So, don't get disturbed. But the whole purpose of sending that message was to teach Uddhava, in fact, not to teach the gopis. So, the gopis, they said, what are you talking? Nonsense. So they were not supposed to get disturbed as per because Krishna is everywhere. Why to get disturbed? But of course, then you may argue that okay, this point, because the gopis were directly attached to Krishna, so that disturbance is okay. But what about Arjuna's disturbance? What about Parikshit Maharaj's disturbance? What about Draupadi's disturbance when her clothes were being when she was being disrobed? Was it a personal disturbance? Oh, something is happening to me personally. It was not in relation to Krishna. But Prahlad Maharaj was not disturbed. But when Gop Kumar asked Prahlad Maharaj, who is superior devotee to, he said Draupadi and the Pandavas are superior to me. But he didn't get disturbed when he was being, troubled. And Draupadi got disturbed. Why? Because he is not getting disturbed what Lord Narasimha Dev's desire. So he didn't get disturbed. And Draupadi's getting disturbed was required for Krishna to become the hero of Mahabharata. So Draupadi was getting disturbed because if she didn't get disturbed, then Krishna cannot make the entry. And if he doesn't make the entry, he cannot become the hero. To make Krishna the hero, Draupadi had to get disturbed. She had to approach all her husbands and prove that nobody in your life will help you, then Krishna will help you. It is not that, she thought that husbands can help her and Krishna cannot help. So now Arjuna got illusion in Bhagavad Gita. He went into bodily concept of life. How can a Nitya Siddha Mahabhagavat enter into a bodily concept of life? Because he is inside Yoga Maya. He is inside the energy known as Yoga Maya. And Krishna wanted Arjuna to get bewildered and go into the bodily concept of life. Somebody asked Prabhupada, did Arjuna really get, was he really in Maya? No, he was never in Maya. He was always in Yoga Maya. If he was in Yoga Maya, then how did he get disturbed? Because Krishna wanted that thing to happen. So did Arjuna know that he was getting disturbed? Did he know that he was, he was acting? No, Arjuna didn't know he was acting. If Arjuna knew that he was acting, Krishna would not enjoy. It's not that Krishna wants to give Bhagavad Gita just to make all the other people. He's like preaching mission. Krishna's first principle of giving Bhagavad Gita is want to enjoy giving the Bhagavad Gita. Just like Lord Chaitanya wants to enjoy Radharani's mood. Next, the secondary reason is incidental reason is to preach. So Krishna wants to enjoy giving Bhagavad Gita. And so Arjuna, when he goes naturally into illusion and goes into bodily concept of life, which is a materialistic concept of life, which is not materialistic because he's although it may look like materialistic, exactly like an atheist. He looks exactly like an atheist. Arjuna looks exactly like an atheist. Yatha Ishwaram Matayo Yatha in this verse. Just like an atheist. The queens of Dwarka are looking just like an atheist. Their actions are just like an atheist. Because the effects of Yoga Maya and Mahamaya are indistinguishable from external perspective. Only when neither Yoga Maya and Mahamaya are there, then that distinction can be made. That is the case of a impersonalist who is kind of in a different kind of a situation. He is completely neutral to both Yoga Maya and Mahamaya in that sense. Of course, he is also in Maya. That itself is another Maya. It's Mahamaya only in a different format. But that Maya is such that he thinks that, Brahman is everything. That is his Maya actually. So when such an impersonalist, his actions, you can see from an impersonalist action that he is completely undisturbed by happiness, distress, cold, heat, things like that. Why? Because he is not inside Yoga Maya yet. He has no access to Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya is completely positive illusion. So our goal is to be in illusion. Our goal is not to get out of Maya. Our goal is to be in Maya. But the right kind of Maya. When a pure devotee says, I have not a tinge of devotion for Krishna, I have nothing. Is he lying? Does a pure devotee lie? Does he know that, oh no, I have devotion, but I'm just lying for others' pay? Oh, I have no devotion. Just like how we say, sadhakas. Prabhuji, I have no devotion. Is a pure devotee also saying like that? I have no devotion. So why is he lying? He knows that he has devotion for Krishna. He has 100% devotion. Why is he saying that I have no? Because he is in illusion. When a pure devotee inside Yoga Maya, then he forgets everything. Then he may do everything as per whatever Yoga Maya is dictating him. Yashoda Maya is not thinking Krishna is God. She is thinking if I don't feed Krishna, he will die. But is she in a materialistic concept of life? No. That is Yoga Maya. That is illusion. And under illusion, he is thinking, that pure devotee is thinking that I have no devotion. Although he is full devotion. But he is under illusion. Because of illusion, he is thinking he has no devotion, although he has 100% devotion. And under Mahamaya, we are thinking we are pure devotees, although we have no devotion. So both are in illusion. Our goal is to get transferred from this illusion to illusion. Now we'll take the most dangerous example of how we cannot judge devotees. The whole sum and substance of this discussion today is how you cannot judge devotees from their actions. A devotee may behave just like a materialistic, just like an atheistic person, absolutely indistinguishable. But there is no human being on earth, not even the demigods can make out, not even pure devotees can make out that whether this person is a devotee or non-devotee. The only criteria, the only definition that a person is a devotee is that he is under the superior energy under the protection of Yogamaya, the superior energy of Lord Krishna. And the only definition of a non-devotee or a demon is that he is under the protection of the inferior energy of Lord Krishna, Mahamaya. That's the only definition. There is no action. Oh, a pure devotee thinks about Krishna. A non-devotee does not think about Krishna. A pure devotee does this only in relation with Krishna. No. Now we'll take that example, the most dangerous example of the Srimad Bhagvatam, which completely shatters the concept of who a devotee is and who a non-devotee is. So this example is Jai Vijay and Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Now Prabhupada gives extraordinary purports in many places about these topics. One place Prabhupada says, Jai Vijay never fell down from the spiritual world. He says they were under Yogamaya, they were under the superior energy, they were not under the Mahamayak energy. That shows that Jai Vijay were not under, there is one statement that he just stops short of saying that they were in Yogamaya. He says that means that the pure devotees are in Yogamaya. They are never under the control of Maya. Then he says, that shows that Jai Vijay is this thing. So that of course definitely implies, he says that pure devotees are Yogamaya. They never, that is why Jai Vijay did this. And they became like this. That's why Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha were like this, Prabhupada says in one of the purports. That is why, like in the sense, that clearly shows that they were in Yogamaya. They were never under the... So this is also shocking because Yudhishthira Maharaj got shocked at this point. He says, if I can't distinguish between a Rakshasa and a devotee, then what's the point in, actions have nothing. They have no meaning. External actions like getting disturbed, getting not disturbed, getting provoked, getting not provoked. All these things are meaningless. It's only meaningful on a Kanishta level or in a Madhyamadikari level. On a higher level, these things have no meaning. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj asks, he gets bewildered. He sees Shishupala is behaving the most horrible way, anti-Krishna way. He's giving him bad words, horrible things, and so many things he's doing. And when he's doing that, he doesn't go to hell. He actually gets liberated. He enters Krishna's body. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj completely gets bewildered. He says, Vena, who was a lesser demon than Shishupala, who never did all these things, he never hated Krishna so intensely. And he just said that, what is God? I am God. That's all he said. No need to worship God. I am God. And he was going to hell. He was on his way to hell. In fact, he was already born as a leper or something. And then Prithu Maharaj got born and he was delivered from the hellish condition of his life. So, if Vena, who just did a little bit of an offense towards the Supreme Lord, was almost going to go to hell for that, and Shishupal did 1,000,000 times more dangerous offenses against Lord Krishna by personally blaspheming Krishna in front of an entire, assembly of illustrious Vaishnavas, then, in fact, enraging all the Vaishnavas and hurting the Vaishnavas, and in doing that, he gets to, he goes scot-free. No Yamaraj can touch Shishupal. Why? What is this? This is bewildering. Then Narada Muni says that, Baba, his actions are bewildering, but the backstory is completely different. That means the backstory is more important than the external actions, right? The internal action, the internal reason for the behavior is Yogamaya. So then he goes to the story of Jai Vijay and then he glorifies them. In fact, he tells them, in the gopis, when somebody asked Krishna, Krishna tells somebody, that I got a very severe headache and I want the dust of some devotee and only that can cure my headache. Everybody says, no, who's going to give the dust to Krishna? No, it's not going to. Then the gopis say, don't take all my dust. Then the question is raised, then you will go to hell. They say, I don't care if you will go to hell, Take this dust. We'll offend Krishna, no problem. Let me offend Krishna. But his headache will be cured. So the intention was perfect in the case of gopis. So In the same way, when Krishna wanted to fight in the material world, and he said, I want some devotee to become like a demon. I want somebody to play the role of a demon for 3 lifetimes or something like that. I wanted such. I'm really feeling like that. I need somebody because I'm not really happy with the materialistic demons. I need some strong competitor. So nobody would have been ready, to become Krishna's enemy and murder, rape people, and do all these kind of things as a demons. But these Jai Vijay, they said, okay, we'll do this seva, no problem. They had the desire. We want our Lord. There is nobody to fight with the Lord, and the Lord is feeling very bad. I wish we could also go and do some seva. So Prabhupada actually, I read this somewhere, that they actually had the desire that we want to serve the Lord. So they were like the gopis who wanted to give the dust to, they didn't care whether they went to hell or something. So in the same way, their intention was so great, in fact, Jai Vijay's intention, that they wanted to serve Krishna in that mood. And when Prabhupada says that because they had to play the role of an enemy, there has to be a prerequisite that they had to forget that they were devotees of Krishna. This never happens generally, devotees always remember that they love Krishna. So they had to be brainwashed by Yogamaya. So then Yogamaya, once they surrendered to Yogamaya, now you do whatever you want. Whatever it takes. Just do whatever it takes to make Krishna happy. I don't care. And then Yogamaya completely, brainwashes them, takes all their memory away. Then she orchestrates the pastime of Lakshmi ji cursing, then the secondary pastime of 4 Kumaras cursing. All this is just pastimes, and then they fall down to the material realm, and they are still under the protection of the superior energy. They are not touched by the material energy. They are never touched by Yamaraja. They are never touched by sin. Nothing. So if a devotee for the service of Krishna can become a demon, murder, rape people, and still like Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, they can go back to the spiritual kingdom, and you can just imagine that from the actions you can never kind of deduce whether the person is a devotee or a non-devotee. Impossible. Just like an atheist. Ishwaram mathayo yatha. This last line of this verse, 1.11.29 of the Srimad Bhagvatam, where the wives of Krishna are compared to mudas and abalas, and just like an atheist, we can understand the actions of Yogamaya are exactly same like Mahamaya. It's impossible. The only difference is that a person who is inside Yogamaya, he will experience only bliss. His bliss comes from Krishna's bliss. When Krishna is satisfied, he is satisfied. He has no connection with material senses, sense gratification, the 3 elements, the 3 modes of material nature, nothing. He is completely blissful. But a person inside Mahamaya, although he is also serving Krishna, but he is serving under great pain. Just like when you're dancing with Krishna, you can dance like the gopis or you can dance like Kaliya. I always give this example. So when Krishna kicks the gopis in the dance, they feel Krishna's feet is so soft because they are under Yogamaya. But when Kaliya gets kicked by Krishna, he feels the feet are like thunderbolt. So they say the Lord can sometimes act like a rose, or he can act like a thunderbolt. What does that mean? It means the Lord is only acting like a rose all the time. But depending upon which energy you are in, whether you are in Mahamaya, Yogamaya, if you are like Kaliya, then you experience Lord's kicks like thunderbolts. And if you are in Mahamaya, Yogamaya, then you will experience Lord's kicks like soft petals of roses on Gopi's breasts. When he used to kick, they used to feel, oh, my breast is so hard and Krishna's feet is so soft like a rose. I hope it doesn't hurt him. So the whole point here is that the effects of Yogamaya and Mahamaya are indistinguishable from external actions alone. There is no way you can distinguish it. Only person who knows that is, whether you are in Yogamaya or in Mahamaya, the only person who knows that is not even that person. And I would say not even Krishna to a certain extent. But of course he knows it, but not like really to that. He's not like really focused on that. He's really focused on his Leela. He's not focused on whether you are in Mahamaya, Yogamaya, whatever. So the person who knows that is Yogamaya herself. Other than Yogamaya herself, who is the director of this entire spiritual and material drama. She's a drama queen. I call her the drama queen. So unless other than Yoga Maya, nobody knows. Because Krishna, he doesn't see Maya. He sees Daivi Maya. He doesn't see Yoga Maya at all. He's like the sun. He cannot see darkness. So he sees everybody as a devotee of Krishna. He doesn't see anybody as non-devotees and devotees. He just says that, okay, you are angry with me, so you have left me. That's all. For Krishna, that's the only understanding of, oh, you are my friend, you have left me from the spiritual, you're angry with me, so you left me, and now you come to the material world, so you're angry with me. He just behaves with you like an angry friend. He doesn't really understand there is something known as what are your feelings, what are the horrible gross sex life and stuff like that. So all these things Krishna is not unaware of. So he is not actually seeing whether you are in Maha Maya, Yoga Maya. He sees only Daivi Maya. That's all. Everything is under the... So he'll say, oh, you are stuck inside these three modes. He knows you are stuck inside the three modes and all. But he really doesn't know. He doesn't really distinguish you in that sense. Like, as a materialistic or a spiritual. He sees everybody as... Even a Uttamadhikari doesn't see anybody as a non-devotee, as a devotee. What to speak of Krishna? Krishna doesn't see anybody. So in that sense, even Krishna is like kind of not focused so much on this concept, on this dichotomy of whether you are a devotee or a non-devotee. But the devotee himself doesn't know whether he's a devotee or a non-devotee, because a devotee under Yogamaya is under illusion, completely under illusion. So he doesn't really consider himself to be a pure devotee. He just thinks, I am nobody. I am not even a devotee. I'm nothing, because he has no understanding of what he is doing. Everything is under the Yogamayic illusion. So devotee himself doesn't know whether he's in Yogamaya or Mahamaya. But once he goes into Yogamaya, a person who's in Mahamaya, he gets liberated and goes to Yogamaya, then he may understand all this. Nitya Siddha Mahabhagavat, of course, doesn't know. But a person who had a transition, like Narada Muni, who was once in Yogamaya, then he got transferred with a spiritual body, and he sees, oh, now I've got a spiritual body and stuff like that. So yeah, he does know that he is inside a superior energy of Lord Krishna. But again, when they are into the Leela of Lord Krishna, now Narada Muni is more of a preacher, he's in the Leelas, but more of he's kind of like Yogamaya, like an assistant of Yogamaya or somebody like that. He has a unique position in the history of, he knows that, Krishna is Supreme Lord and this is all Leelas and stuff like that. But most of the devotees who are inside Yogamaya, like Yashoda Mai, like the Sakhas, like Gopis, they are not like, that we are pure devotees, we are liberated. They don't think like that. Because they are inside the drama, they are inside the movie. So they are playing the role just like simple cowherd girls. They don't really consider themselves to be liberated and stuff like that. Whereas Narad Muni does know that, because he's kind of sort of outside the Leelas. He's in the borderline. He can go between the material world, spiritual world. He's a preacher, kind of sort of. He's a unique position inside the... that's why Srimad Bhagvatam has a very special thing, because Bhagvatam is all about Yogamaya, and he's like assistant of Yogamaya, kind of, Narada Muni. He's the one who actually inspired Vyasadeva to even write the things about Lord Krishna. So he is aware of Krishna's divinity and stuff like that in a certain way. So in that way, has a unique... So otherwise, most of the devotees themselves, they don't know whether they are liberated or not liberated. They have no idea, actually. Once they are liberated, they are just into that pure love for Krishna. They don't experience any material pain or any kind of suffering. They don't experience any material pleasures like sex life or any kind of pleasures. Their happiness is derived from Krishna's happiness. All these things are completely rewired by Maya, but per se they don't really, they are not focused, you can say, about whether they are liberated or not liberated. They are in a very unique position. So the sum and substance of today's discussion is that there's no point in judging a devotee. You can never judge whether a devotee is in, what kind of energy he is in. Like, just by saying, oh, he got bewildered. Like, for example, Srivas Thakur didn't get bewildered when his son died, but Arjuna got bewildered. Why? Was Srivas Thakur more advanced than Arjuna? No, of course not. The circumstances, the Leela required that Srivas Thakur not be bewildered, and the Leela required that Arjuna be bewildered. Like Kulashekar be bewildered. So... And there are hundreds of examples, you see, when the Pandavas are being, the example you can see how, in the example of Pandavas, they're living their lives and they are like, getting affected, Bhima getting angry, stuff like that. So they play the part exactly like, Pundrik Vidyanidhi, completely enjoying life. That was the role that he was required to play. And he will enjoy. Of course, he's not enjoying anything because it's beyond the three modes of material nature, but apparently he's enjoying everything. And then all of a sudden, like everything. So all of these, like there are hundreds and thousands of examples where devotees get disturbed, where devotees get provoked, where devotees get personal reasons also, like, where they get provoked, because, but then everything is a part of Krishna's Leela. Dhruva Maharaj gets provoked. He gets so provoked after he becomes a devotee and he starts killing all the yakshas. Because a part of the Leela. He was liberated already by then. There was nothing left. But that was a part of the Leela of Lord Krishna. So there are so many examples of him in Bhagavatam. Everywhere, like when a devotee is having conflict with another devotee, or a devotee is having conflict with somebody due to some personal reasons, a pure Nitya Siddha Mahabhagavat devotee getting angry at certain things and talking. So, but then for a neophyte, the problem is, if you start telling somebody that, the getting provoked is also okay, then the problem with the neophyte is that he thinks that he's a pure devotee. The moment he starts thinking that, getting provoked is all right, getting angry is all right, everything is all right, because he starts thinking my anger is also spiritual anger, because he has no understanding that his anger is completely different. Whereas spiritual anger is full of bliss, it's like a moon. Spiritual anger is spiritual disturbances are completely transcendental. They are completely different. It's like Radharani getting disturbed, gopis getting disturbed. The disturbances, their provocations are totally different. They get provoked, they get disturbed. But that is completely different. The quality is completely different, like shit and like cake. When the cake gets perverted, then these rasas get perverted from the spiritual world to material world, they become like shit. And we are experiencing the sex life of the material world, the anger of the material world. The problem is there is an anger in the spiritual world, there is a sex life in the spiritual world, but it's free of all the inebrities. It is completely beautiful to experience the anger, the ghastliness in the spiritual realm. So because a neophyte has no understanding, he may think that, oh, I am getting angry at this devotee, so I am also getting provoked, so I am also a great devotee. Oh, see, Arjuna got provoked, I am like Arjuna. He thinks like that. So that is why whenever a great devotee like, a Maharaj is giving lecture, then he will definitely he's not going to touch upon this esoteric subject topic. Like, how a devotee under Yogamaya can behave in various strange ways. In fact, when Gaur Kishodas Babaji used to get really angry and stuff like that, he used to just flare up when people used to do certain things. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur used to tell his disciples, never go near him, because you will get bewildered. They are spontaneous people. You will get bewildered by their spontaneous behavior, because they don't conform to any of the laws of physics and laws of social acceptance. Whatever you think about, what is Sthita Pragya and stuff like that. They are not going to behave like that. They'll get angry at any point of time for any small reason also. It may be material, spiritual, but all of that will be related to Krishna. If Krishna wants to chastise you, for no reason they'll get angry at you and they'll say, you are an idiot, you are a rascal. Then you'll get bewildered. Why did this pure devotee behave in such a... why did he get provoked by such a small thing? So that's why you don't associate with such... Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told one of his associates, don't go to Vrindavan, because those Vrindavan people are spontaneous in their behavior, and you will mistake them, and then you will be in trouble. Of course, they were also liberated souls, but just to teach us, he was telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, don't go to Vrindavan, because... So the point is that a pure devotee, they are completely unpredictable, because every single action is simply... They are simply transparent via medias of Krishna, basically. Whatever they are doing is either because they are exchanging a particular rasa with Krishna at that point, or Krishna is acting through those devotees to teach the world a particular, or to do something, some pastime with the world. And Krishna is not very good at teaching things, and he's not a good teacher. He is an expert Leela guy, so he'll do anything, because he himself is an ecstatic personality. So the Acharya is very careful. They are like, no. Don't go by these external things, of a devotee, how he's getting provoked, how he's getting... Because they are inside Yogamaya. So they just, this topic is beyond your pay grade. Don't discuss this topic. So for us, how the Shastras are supposed to be interpreted, you are not supposed to get provoked. No matter what happens, don't get provoked. Be sthita pragya. So this is how the instruction goes. So basically, this was my 2 cents on this particular verse. So the beautiful part of this whole discussion was that how a single line of a single verse of Srimad Bhagavatam can open up a Pandora's box, and it can just kind of like create complete cracks in the universal space-time continuum. The understanding that we have of this universe will get cracked by a single verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. we thought, oh, this is how a devotee is supposed to behave. And suddenly Bhagavatam says, no, he can behave exactly like an atheist. That's no, in fact, it's indistinguishable. So that was like a very, I just thought I'll probably, have this recorded. Hare Krishna.